Bush declared that the major threat against the United States is terrorism. And I believe that Barack Obama just yesterday or the day before made a statement about what he believed to be the major threat, and he thought the major threat was the spread of nuclear weapons to terrorists. Let's take the example of the Virginia-class submarine, a sophisticated nuclear submarine, one of the first dedicated by Laura Bush, of all people, in Galveston in December a couple of years ago. $2.5 billion to build that submarine. It was called the USS Texas. Now here's the question. If terrorism is the principal threat, or the spread of nuclear weapons, for that matter, is the principal threat, just how do you use a submarine against terrorism? By my count, the United States today has 71 submarines in active service. And the plan is to build a total of these new Virginia-class submarines. 10 have already been authorized. Those in total will cost $27 billion. And the total cost of the entire program, if it's executed, and it looks like it will be something like $81 billion. There are all kinds of examples. One is the Osprey helicopter. The Osprey helicopter is sort of a vertical takeoff helicopter. When Dick Cheney was Secretary of Defense, he tried to get it killed. He was unable to get it killed. Last year, Time magazine did a story about the Osprey, and the words on its cover were, "It's unsafe, it can't shoot straight, it's already cost $20 billion, and now it's headed for Iraq." And it is in use in Iraq, except that it's so unreliable it cannot be used in combat missions. The Osprey contracts were spread to about 2,000 suppliers in more than 40 states. The big contractors, Bell Helicopter in Texas and Boeing with plants in Pennsylvania. Studies have shown that contractors contributed something like $11 million in so-called soft money in campaign contributions to members of Congress involved in the Osprey, with plants involved in the Osprey. One of my favorite examples was Lockheed Martin paid $60,000 to sponsor a dance. Well, what's the point? The point here is that there are powerful economic and political interests in this country with vested interests in war. They make money from it, and they often justify their positions by appeals to patriotism. And we have plenty of wars and interventions, a number of which do not lend themselves to careful examination in retrospect. Why did Ronald Reagan invade Grenada? Why did George Bush the Elder invade Panama? And looking back now, what exactly did the First Persian Gulf War in 1991 accomplish? Why exactly are we in Iraq 7 years later when there were no weapons of mass destruction? And why are we in Afghanistan today when the main threat from Al-Qaeda is in Pakistan? And the best estimates that I have seen of Al-Qaeda's presence in Afghanistan is maybe 200. I want to say something about this. because I believe it raises questions about the people that are involved in this complex. It is my belief that many, maybe most of them, are perfectly sincere and undoubtedly believe that they are being patriotic. This is ideological stuff, often conservative conviction. But I believe that many conservative ideological positions may also have a relationship to their pocketbooks, and that they are certain that it's patriotic to support military spending. Barack Obama, in his campaign, he said he wanted to bring change to America. If he wants to bring real change to America, real change, he has to master and understand the military, industrial, congressional, academic complex. And right now, the record doesn't look good. He expanded the war in Afghanistan, and I'm not certain that we're going to find it all that easy to get out of Iraq. The one element of this that I have not touched on, I suggested maybe there's a fifth leg to this stool, the intelligence community. This is very interesting. We don't know a lot about the intelligence community because it's a secret operation. But it's pretty well established now by people who studied the Cold War that the CIA consistently overestimated the military capabilities of the Soviet Union. And you don't have to go back that far to see some questions about the role of the intelligence community. Just go back to the Iraq War, where when Colin Powell gave his famous speech to the United Nations, the director of the CIA was sitting right behind him. I think if we ever got the full story, you'd find that there are 5 legs to this stool. This is a frightening situation. I'm worried about it, and I hope you are too. Thank you very much. Mr. President.
Questions? Harvey.
Before I forget, that's why I've been asked. That was wonderful. Had you thought of a 6th leg being the media?
This is a very interesting question because obviously, as someone who's been interested in this for 50 years, I've often asked myself, where is the Washington Post? Mm-hmm. Where is the New York Times? And my wife worked for the Washington Post for many years, and my son works there now. And we've talked about this. The only explanation, it's literally true. Now, I've been reading the New York Times for all of those 50 years. I get it at home here. And of course, I could read the Washington Post on the internet. Neither of those institutions, nor as far as I am aware, any network, there's one small exception, has ever made an effort to really explore what I'm calling this complex. The only explanation that I can give for that is that it has to do with the conventions of the media. A lot of people don't understand this, but the media basically reacts to and reports on what public officials say. In other words, you got a political argument, the media, when the Republicans are on this side and the Democrats are on this side, the media will report that. But